Hello aspirants, welcome back to Daily Chronicles by Abhiram Ias. So today let's learn the most important topics from the different sources like PIB, Indian Express and the Hindu. Okay, let's see the topics first. So today we'll be dealing about the new Pamban Bridge as it was inaugurated yesterday, and let's see about the World Health Day as it is celebrated April 7th of every year, and let's talk about the US President non-performing assets and also NAFTA, and let's talk about the regional rural banks. Now, the first article is about the new Pamban Bridge. Why it is in news? Because yesterday itself, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been inaugurated this, and it is India's first vertical lift sea bridge. Okay, and it is replacing the old Pamban Bridge. It is replacing the old Pamban Bridge. Now, in this context, let's talk about the new Pamban Bridge. So basically, it is India's first vertical lift railway sea bridge. Okay, remember this. It is India's first vertical lift railway sea bridge, and it is located in the Tamil Nadu state near Ramanathapuram district, and it is connecting Rameshwaram to the Mandapam. Rameshwaram, which is also known as Pamban Island, Rameshwaram Island or Pamban Island to the Mandapam, and it is developed by the Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, and it is replacing the iconic India's first sea bridge, that is old Pamban Bridge. So this new Pamban Bridge is replacing the new Pamban Bridge, and old Pamban Bridge is the India's first sea bridge. Okay. If we see here, you can see here it is lifting vertically. Why? What is the significance of this? Basically to decrease the traffic congestion. Here the rail will be passed, and after the rail movement, ship movement also will be there to decrease the traffic. And further, let's talk about the Pamban Island. Where is this Pamban Island located? It is located in the Gulf of Mannar between India and Sri Lanka, and it is part of Ramanathapuram district in Tamil Nadu. You can see here it is Pamban Island. It is dividing India and Sri Lanka. That means it is in between of India and Sri Lanka, and it is also separating Gulf of Mannar from the Park State and Park Bay. You can see here Rameshwaram is located here. Okay, and further, if we see, it is forming a chain. See, Pamban Island, it is forming a chain with Adams Bridge and also with the Mannar Island. Okay. So basically, this Pamban Island is also known as Rameshwaram Island, and it is the largest island in the Tamil Nadu by area, and it is part of Ramanathapuram district located in the Tamil Nadu. And we also saw it is forming a chain with the Adams Bridge and also Mannar Island, and it is separating the Park Bay and Park State from the Gulf of Mannar. It is above the new Pamban Bridge and the Pamban Island. Now, next let's discuss about the World Health Day, where we celebrate every year on 7th of April it is celebrated by the WHO, World Health Organization, and the theme for 2025 is Healthy Beginnings, and also Hopeful Futures, Hopeful Future. This is the theme of 2025 World Health Day. Now, in this context, let's see the developments of India in the health sector criteria. And SDG 3 is supporting the good health and well-being. So, SDG 3 is promoting good health and well-being. So, basically this year is mainly concentrating on maternal and child health. Let's see the India's progress in maternal health and child development. Basically, there is a decrease of maternal mortality rate. What is this maternal mortality rate? It is nothing but number of maternal deaths, that is mother death while giving the birth. So, number of maternal deaths by number of live births into 1 lakh. It is calculated by taking 1 lakh. So, basically in the year 2014 it was 130, and in the year 2023 it has been drastically fell down to 97. Okay, this is maternal mortality rate. Next, let's see the infant mortality rate. What is infant mortality rate? Under 1 year of the birth, under 1 year. So, number of infants under 1 year of age divided by the number of live births into 1000. If we see, it has been decreased from 39 in the year 2014 to 28 in the year 2020. Next is the neonatal. What is neonatal? Basically within the 1 month of time birth. So, number of deaths within the 1 month of the birth time, that is the neonatal. Number of deaths within 0 to 28 days, that is approximately 1 month, divided by the total live births into 1000. So if we see in 2014 it was 26 and it has been decreased to 20 in the year 2020. Now further, under 5 mortality rate. What is under 5? Basically the child from 1 to 5 years of age. Number of deaths of children under age 5 divided by the total live births into 100. If we see in 2014 it was 45 and it has been fallen to 32 in the year 2020. Okay. Why? Because India has been implemented many new schemes. First is the institutional deliveries on the rise. Next is the Janani Suraksha Yojana, Janani Shishu Suraksha Karyakramam, Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, and also this program is extended, Suman and also Lakshya. These all schemes are supporting for the pregnant women and also childbirth. Okay. And if we see the India's disease elimination and control, malaria has been drastically fallen down by 69%, trachoma has been eliminated in the year 2024 in India, and also Kala Hazard has also been eliminated in India, and further measles and rubella has been significantly fallen down across the states, across the districts, and tuberculosis, there is 17.7 drop in tuberculosis disease in the year 2025 to 2023, and there is a special scheme which is supporting this tuberculosis, that is Nikshay scheme. Okay, it is helping financially TB persons, TB people. And also in the year 2024, India is out of the high burden, high impact criteria of WHO with regards to the malaria. So basically malaria has been dropped to 69%, and in 2024 it has been exited from the high burden, high impact list of WHO regarding to the malaria. And coming to trachoma and Kala Hazard, in 2024 India has been eliminated trachoma and Kala Hazard. In the exam simply they will ask what are the eliminated diseases in India, that is trachoma and Kala Hazard. Recently they have been eliminated, and if we see before, smallpox also been eliminated, right? Tetanus has been eliminated, not completely eliminated, but mother tetanus and child tetanus has been eliminated. And there are other also. Now, in this context, let's talk about the US President. Let's see the US Constitution, what it is telling, can a person serve beyond 2 years of terms. So, the 22nd Amendment Act, according to the 22nd Amendment Act of the US Constitution, it is telling that no person can serve beyond 2 terms. 2 terms, okay. That means he is not elected after 2 terms of the serving as a president. So basically Trump is not eligible for serving the 3rd term, and this amendment is limiting a person to only elected 2 terms, okay. Why? Because Franklin D. Roosevelt has been served for 4 terms. So that is why the then constitution holders have been told that not more than 2 terms a president will serve, and there is no 3rd term of service. And the maximum possible tenure is 10 years. Now let's see what are the loopholes Trump has come with. So basically Trump has come with 3 loopholes. One is the vice president loophole, second is the line of succession, and third is the repealing the 22nd Amendment Act. If we see this vice president loophole, basically he is telling in 2028 he will serve as vice president. Then when the president will resign, he will become the serving president. Simply he is telling that first I will become the vice president, then I will become the president when this president resigns. But according to the 12th Amendment of the US Constitution, it is clearly saying that if a president cannot be eligible, if a person is not eligible for acting as the president, he should not be elected as the vice president also. So this loophole has been gone. Next, line of succession. What Trump is telling that if president, vice president, he is telling basically he will become the speaker. And the line of succession is that if the president and vice president will resign, then the speaker will act as the president. This is like legally acceptable, but it is extremely bad. Now, third, what he is telling is repealing the 22nd Amendment Act. He is telling, I will repeal the amendment itself, but for that they need 2/3 of the Congress and also ratification of 3/4 of the states. Okay. So, basically these three loopholes will not allow Trump to become the third term president, but let us see whether he can act as the third term president or not. Now, is this the first time the US is doing, or other countries have been done so? Basically, other countries have also been done. In Russia, Putin has changed the law to run till 2036, and in China, Xi Jinping has been removed the term limits in the year 2018, and in Turkey also they have been removed this system in 2017, and in Germany there are no term limits, okay, but they need to enjoy the parliamentary majority. Now, as a value addition, let us compare the United States with India. So, what is system of governance in India? It is basically parliamentary form of system, but whereas coming to the US, it is presidential. So, who is the head when it is presidential form of government? It is basically the president. Who is the head of parliamentary system of government? It is the prime minister. So, the term limit of US is maximum 2 elected terms. Now, coming to the India, there is no term limit. He can enjoy the prime ministership until he can enjoy the majority of the parliament, until he enjoys the majority of parliament. Now, this is according to the 22nd Amendment of the US Constitution, and this is according to our Article 72 of the Indian Constitution. What this Article 75 is telling? Basically, Article 75 is dealing with the Prime Minister appointment. So, it is telling that President can appoint the Prime Minister, and other ministers are appointed on the aid and advice of this Prime Minister. And the selection process, here it is direct electoral college vote, but here it is majority in the Lok Sabha. Here it is fixed for 4 years of term, but our term is till 5 years. So, the removal process impeachment, our removal process is no confidence motion. Possibility of return not after 2 elected terms, but in India, yes, it is indefinite time until he enjoys the majority or confidence of the parliament. Done. Chalo, let's next see the next article. It is about the non-performing assets. Now, why it is in use? Because there is a 28% of credit card defaulters. There has been increase of 28% of credit card defaulters, and the amount has been touched to 6,742 CR of NPA, that is non-performing assets. So, let us talk about the non-performing assets. So, basically what is an NPA? See, assume a person is taking a loan or any advance from anyone, or basically we will consider here bank, and I am unable to pay the interest or the original amount to the bank, that is the lender. Here bank is nothing but the lender. Then there is no profit generation, right? There is no profit generation. Then my loan will become the NPA for that lender. That is non-performing asset. That is, there is no gain or no profit to the lender. So, basically defined by the RBI, it is a loan on advancement where the principal or interest remains overdue for more than 90 days of time. Then this I will be considered as, the loan is considered as non-performing assets. There are 3 types basically. One is the substandard, which is equal to or less than 12 months of time. Doubtful, which is equal to or less than 12 months. And the loss asset, which is completely in loss, basically asset where the loss is identified but not written off. Okay. Now, let us see the impact on banks. It is reducing the profitability of the banks, right, and it affects the capital adequacy, and it also erodes in the banking, it erodes the complete banking system. And on the economy, basically it hurts the investment and credit flow. There will be no credit flow. If there is no credit flow, it is hampering the economic growth also, and also financial stability is being reduced. And if we see on the government, there has to be increase of financial burden. There is an increase of financial burden on the government, and also pressure for bank recapitalization. That is, central government has to give money to the banks, that is banks recapitalization, and also it limits the spending on the other schemes, that is developmental schemes. So, this is the impact on banks and economy and also on the government. Now, let's see the reasons for raising this NPAs. Basically, economic growth is low. When there is no economic growth, money is low and we can't pay the debts, right? And also poor credit appraisals by the bank, and also willful defaults and frauds, and also infrastructure delays, land and environmental clearances, and also corporate governance failures, and also over leveraging by borrowers. We all know what are the issues basically for this non-performing assets. So, I am not going into the detail. Let's see what are the government initiatives to deal with this non-performing assets. Basically, Mission in the Dhanush, which includes A, B, C, D, F components, that is appointments, bad banks. Now, what are these bad banks? Basically, they manage this NPAs. They are the institutions where it manages the NPAs. Okay. So, basically, there are two types, that is NRCL, that is the National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, which buys the NPAs, and there is the India Debt Resolution Company Limited, which resolves the NPAs. One buys and other resolves. Now, under Project Shashakt, for this is for MSME loan resolution. Okay. So, and also bank recapitalization. As we discussed, central bank has to give money or funds to the bank for their capitalization. So, these are the government initiative, Mission Indradhanush, bank recapitalization and bad banks creation, and also Project Shashakt for the MSMEs. Further, let us talk about the NAFTA. NAFTA here, that it means that North American Free Trade Agreement. Now, what is NAFTA? Why it is in use? Basically, because India is going negotiations with this NAFTA. Why? As we know, US is keeping tariffs on us. So, basically India wants to reduce the tariffs by talking the deals with this NAFTA. NAFTA is nothing but North American Free Trade Agreement. In this context, let us talk about the NAFTA. So, basically it consists of three countries, that is United States, Canada and Mexico. It has come into force in the year 1994. What was the purpose? To eliminate the tariffs, to eliminate the trade barriers, encouraging cross-border investment, and also boost the economic integration among these member countries. Okay. So, basically it is a free trade agreement between US, Canada and Mexico. Now, what is the objective of this? Simply it is eliminating the trade barriers like tariffs, that is taxes and quotas, and it is promoting the fair competition in the free trade market, and it is also increasing the investment opportunities and protecting the intellectual property rights, and also it is resolving the trade disputes efficiently. Further, let us see what are the positive effects and the negative effects. Positive effects, it is eliminating the barriers, that is trade, it is boosting the trade between the members, lower consumer prices. If there is no tariffs, so the consumer price will be low, right? And also growth in the regional supply chains, and it is also encouraging the economic integration. Now, what are the negative effects? Basically job losses in US, right, and poor labor rights in Mexico, and environmental degradation concerns, and also trade imbalances. This is the impact, positive impact and negative impact. Further, now this NAFTA has been actually replaced by the USMCA. What is USMCA? United States, Mexico and Canada. So, it is also called as NAFTA 2.0 with effect from the July 2020. So, in the year 2018, NAFTA was replaced by the United States, Mexico, Canada. So, basically this NAFTA was replaced with USMCA, that is US, Mexico and Canada. That is also nothing but NAFTA 2.0. So, this USMCA has come into effect in the year 2020. What are the updates? Stronger IP protections, intellectual property protections, distilled provisions, better labor rights enforcement, and also automotive rules of origin made stricter. So, there is nothing but the updates are here. IP protection has made more stronger, digital trade provisions have been brought, and also better labor rights and also automotive rules of origin they have been made more stricter than earlier. And further, if we see the relevance for India, basically India is studying this NAFTA or USMCA models for the trade negotiation strategy. So, it is highlighting basically impact of regional trade blocs, and there is also other need for balanced agreements which is protecting domestic industry, and also lessons for the free trade agreements between across the world. Okay, that is the importance of NAFTA to the India. Okay. and it is learning lessons for the free trade agreement negotiations with the other Western nations. This is all about the NAFTA. That is why India has been dealing with the NAFTA now. It wants to reduce the tariffs which have been kept by the US. Right. Now, next let us talk about the last article, that is the regional rural banks. Why it is in news? Because finance minister has said that finance minister may implement like one state and one regional rural banks. Now, in this context, it is important to talk about the regional rural banks. What are they? In the name itself, it is telling that banks in the rural regional areas. So, basically they are the specialized financial institutions for supporting the small and marginalized agriculture farmers in the rural areas. Okay. And they are formed by a collaborative structure, that is central government will give 50%, sponsoring bank will give 35%. See, sponsoring bank is nothing but some cooperative bank or commercial bank which supports the regional rural banks. Okay. And also the state government, it will give some 15%. Okay. So, central government 50%, sponsoring bank is 35% and state government will give 15%. Now, let us see how these regional rural banks have been originated. Basically, with the Narasimhan committee, this regional rural banks came into the picture. It was recommended by the Narasimhan committee and it is established by an ordinance of 1975 which was followed by the RRB Act of 1976. Such that first RRB in India is Prathama Gramin Bank, which was set up in the year 1975. Okay. Now, let us see the objectives. What are the objectives of this regional rural banks? It is helping the rural and semi-urban areas. It is helping the extended banking services to the rural and semi-rural areas, and also it is catering the services to the unserved and underserved sections in the rural regions, and it also supporting the financial inclusion and rural development. Okay. And it is having a hybrid structure where it combines the local outreach of the cooperatives with efficiency of the commercial banks. As we saw, there is a collaborative structure, like central bank is offering 50%, sponsored bank, that is commercial bank, is offering 25%, and lastly state government is offering 15%. Okay, this is the hybrid structure of this, and it is operating in the district basis. Sorry. And further, it is supporting its operations in the district based, and it is notified by the government of India, that is the central government. Okay. Now, next let's see the functions of these regional rural banks. Basically, it is providing the basic banking services in the rural areas, and it is also helping in the Manrega wage disbursement and also pension distributions, and it is also helping in the giving credit cards or debit cards, and also mobile or internet banking, UPI, lockers, etc. And also it has to give 75%, that is RRBs must lend 75% of the credit to the priority sectors like agriculture. Okay. Whereas only 40% should be given by the scheduled commercial banks. So, in priority sector lending, basically RRBs must lend 75% to the agriculture sectors, that is priority sectors, but whereas compared to the scheduled commercial banks, they have to give only 40%. Okay. This is about the regional rural bank, and also here ends the session for today. Thank you.